The idea of the fitting of this room was taken from the success of my London dining room, where the high wainscoted panelled dado of American birch had created such an effect. The bas-reliefs in the upper part of the panels are of carton-pierre, a French invention of papier-mâché and stone dust, I believe. I rather pique myself upon the floor. It was all executed here, and the cipher by a common mason. Now, open your eyes and admire. I hardly know how and when the conception of this place entered my head. I have a pencil sketch at a very early stage where the double branching stair formed the principal feature. The banister of the stairs took a deal of time and trouble and cost a mint of money, but it is very peculiar and I think very striking. The handrail is made of some curious wood from South America, given to me by Lord William Fitzroy when I was at the Admiralty. When first finished, it had a very peculiar colour, a sort of almost silver and dark purple. The bas-reliefs over the doors were done by a man of the name of Smith from rough sketches of mine. After they were put up, I found that his ideas of female beauty, in point of roundness of form, did not correspond with mine, and I was forced to add to all their prominent points. I did some of it myself. The pictures, being full lengths, were difficult to dispose of, and though they are not all family pictures, I thought I could not place them better than here. The statue on the left of the door, as you go to the library, a nymph going into the bath, is, I think, the prettiest and most graceful piece of modern sculpture I know. Now let us go into the ante-library. It was originally intended to place the billiard table here, but it would have interfered with the free passage to the window. I had always felt how desirable it was to have 2 fireplaces in a library, and I had settled in my own mind, without knowing why, that it should be 50 feet long. It formed, in fact, the foundation of the rest of the house. I was at this time engaged all day and every day in looking for all sorts of things. I bought scrolls and panels and things of that sort, right and left. At Webb's, in Bond Street, I saw 2 most beautiful carved oak picture frames. It struck me that I could apply them as door heads, and I accordingly made the upper rails of them unite the doors of this room. I then turned my mind very seriously to this ceiling. I gave the commission to a young man named Wood for my 4 pictures of music, poetry, painting, and sculpture. In the latter, he thought to introduce a bust of myself. It is small and unobtrusive, just over your head. The escutcheons in the cornice contain the armorial bearings of all the heirs and heiresses that have contributed their quarterings and make pretty ornaments. In a whisper, I will just add that I painted them myself. When I was planning the house, I had a great mind to have no such room. But custom required it, and being an amateur architect, people would have imagined that I had forgotten it if I had omitted it. The picture in the ceiling was painted by Wood. It was, I believe, the largest work he had ever executed, and he took great pride and pleasure in doing it. At a ball which we gave after the room was finished, and which was attended by all the ladies of the county, amongst whom personal charms were not abundant, an old lady was seen looking up at the top of the room and muttering to herself, "More beauty on the ceiling than on the floor," which was true. This is, I think, one of the most successful bits about the house. I do not recollect any other of equal extent, or, I may say, of equal richness. 20 times up the whole length and 20 times back make within a few yards of a mile. And I think of putting up a bronze dial with a point like a billiard marker, so that my guests may walk their regulated distances as their health or inclination dictate. The ironwork, both on the terrace and at the lower end of the French garden and upon the balconies of the house, are derived from my darling 60-franc French books, and I look at them with pleasure, I must confess.